Morning, everyone. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
It's your God Call with Reverend Bill.
Are there any metaphysical insights or learnings that we can glean from the coronavirus? Well, here's one. The virus itself is invisible, but it's causing very visible effects in the world around us, in our bodies and in our economy and in our daily lives. An invisible force is creating a visible result. So let's be reminded that that process is always underway. And even though the solution to the coronavirus might be invisible now, we can set an intention to have it show up in our lives.
If we could consider each other a neighbor, a friend, or a brother, it could be a wonderful, wonderful world. It could be a wonderful world. Oh, it could be a wonderful world. If each little kid could have fresh milk each day, if each working man had enough time to play, if each homeless soul had a good place to stay, it could be a wonderful world. Oh, it could be a wonderful world. If we could consider each other a neighbor, a friend, or a brother, it could be a wonderful, wonderful world. It could be a wonderful world. Oh, it could be a wonderful world. If there were no poor and the rich were content, strangers were welcome wherever they went. If each of us knew what true brotherhood meant, it could be a wonderful world. Oh, it could be a wonderful world. If we could consider each other a neighbor, a friend, or a brother, it could be a wonderful, wonderful world. It could be a wonderful world. Oh, it could be a wonderful world. Oh, it could be a wonderful world.
We're learning to do the Zoom meeting applause by waving our hands because most of us have our microphones muted lots of times. So for one of the few times in the celebration where we're going to allow everybody to unmute their microphones, go ahead and turn your mute off so that we can all talk together at once. Good morning, New Thought Philadelphia.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here today. Happy Easter, good Passover, and let's all repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to healing.
I open myself to healing.
I open myself to the awareness that God is right here, right now.
I open myself to the awareness that God is right here, right now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Yeah, I'm Reverend Bill Marcioni. Our music today is by the incomparable Avi Wisnia. And my partner, Reverend Dave Schbach, is at the helm today.
And loving being there. So, New Thought Philadelphia is an open and welcoming community of spiritual adventurers, as you can tell by the internet, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you here today, wherever you happen to be going next, we've been waiting for you, and we love you. Welcome. We believe that there is one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we are each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs, or our new life begins with a new thought. So if you have any unnecessary electronic devices at the moment, if you could put them on shush or turn them off, that would be really great. They have a tendency to interfere with the Zoom programming, so that would be a really good thing to do. And we begin our celebration, as we begin everything, with a practical prayer. This morning's prayer will be led by Breen Work, RSCP.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, let's all just take a minute, a moment, a brief pause, letting go of all the electronics, the connections, the buffering. Just be here now in this moment, this one moment, one God, one source, one divine idea that is all of creation. It is the center and the edge of everything. And we are all unique, individual expressions of that one. Gathering together here and now to celebrate that connection, to celebrate life, to celebrate love. So I know that this time is blessed. The words, the music, the ideas, the connections are all expressions of God, the infinite source, the divine idea. So on this beautiful Easter Sunday, we are open to the light, to the love. And I give thanks for this good, give thanks for this joy, this celebration, and these connections. So I claim this good for this celebration of New Thought Philadelphia and release this word into the creative law of spirit that has said yes since the beginning of time and continues and always says yes. And so it is.
Thank you, Breen. So, as many of you know, we are firm believers in practical prayer. We also like to open it up to the community to check in with everybody and see if there is a practical prayer that's been coming about in your experience that you'd like to share with the rest of us. So if you have something you'd like to share, if you could either wave or let us know, and we'll connect with you directly so you can share it with the community. Oh, Sarah.
Okay, so real as quick as possible, we're doing our Monday night spiritual practices class, and one of the practical prayers that I was creating was trying to find moments of joy even despite all of the crazy crap that's going on right now, and not just finding the joy but also being grateful for it and being like mindful about it. And yesterday or the day before, I have a friend, an internet friend. All of us are internet friends now, but really one I've never met in person. And she randomly reached out to me and she started telling me a story about how she went on a walk and she tried to pretend to be me and start showering people with compliments from afar. And so I'm like giggling, like, whatever, sharing the story with Luke. And he's like, Sarah, that's a practical prayer right there. You're doing the thing, like you're being joy, and then other people are trying to emulate that joy, and then it's coming back to you. And so I think that's a super practical prayer where not only is it something that like I want for me, but it's like it's catching on. That's all. That's my practical prayer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyone else? I know Reverend Bill has one.
I do. I actually have a story that we heard from Annie yesterday. She's working. She is an emergency room nurse. And she had gotten all the Easter candy for her family early. But then she realized that she didn't have any jelly beans. And the schedule was such that she was not going to get a chance to go to the store and get jelly beans. So that was a little thing for her. So rather than getting wrapped up about it, she just set the intention very clearly that somehow this is resolving itself and it's just going to be a joyous experience. And when we're ready to surrender then we open ourselves up to all sorts of possibilities. So she just knew it was going to be fine. She got to work, and people have been making lovely donations, and including 100 bags of jelly beans. So she got her pick for all of the ones that she wanted.
What a sweet demonstration.
Sweet, yep.
Anyone else? Okay. We do have all right, for all those good things going on. We invite you to use practical prayer for whatever you consider big or small or whatever on a daily basis, and just watch things unfold. It's an experiment. We do have a few announcements, which I believe Sarah is going to bring us today.
Okay. So first thing we want to bring up is that please come and join us on meetup.com. Our group name is Philly Spiritual Adventurers. The group includes our classes, workshops, events, and Sunday celebrations like today, as well as new programs at various times and locations. Come and add your energy, and we'll have an easy place to let everybody know about what we're going to be doing. Daily online meditation, prayer, and support calls are open to everyone and will focus on health, harmony, peace, and prosperity in the face of the uncertainty caused by the coronavirus pandemic. We have them Monday through Friday, just before work and just after work, so 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., Saturday mornings at 10:30, and then Sundays in the evening at about 6 o'clock. You can use the same link. It says updated Zoom meeting instructions are on Meetup and the website, newthoughtphilly.com. Okay, so Beyond Limits is our foundational class in New Thought Ancient Wisdom, which is open to all. The next course is going to begin Wednesday, April 28th. The Women's Circle will meet Thursday, April 23rd by Zoom online meeting. For details, contact Joe or Sandy. We are now able to accept donations and payments via credit card in addition to PayPal right on the website. There's a new secure credit card platform that also supports reoccurring donations. Reach it through the donate button on the website, big yellow guy. Reverends Bill and Dave are available for spiritual counseling and healing prayer by appointment, and our practitioners are available for healing prayer sessions. Contact them through the website. After today's celebration, the practitioner of the day offers Miracle in a Minute sessions at no charge. Breen will be waiting for you online. Reach out by chat or email Breen at breen@newthoughtphilly.org to set up a brief phone call. Also, we'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration, answer any questions or to chit chat.
Thank you. Okay. I do this on the podium too. Wait a moment. We're getting there. So we have a special blessing for our first-time visitors. If you're a first-time visitor, you'd be willing to, if you could wave and let us know. And welcome, welcome, welcome. So everyone else, we're going to rub our hands together just to send out a little loving warmth to add to the day. Mel, you can just receive. Put your hands up. You are the bright light of divine love. Thank you for sharing your light with us today. And welcome. And that's for any other first-time visitors as well. Namaste. So you can either connect with us on the Meetup group you just heard about, or at our website, or you can sign up for our newsletter. We'd love to stay in touch with you in whatever way is comfortable for you. So as we begin this next song, what we generally do when we're gathering in person is to go around the room and greet each other. That generally looks like a lot of hugging. So first thing we're going to do is hug ourselves and know that we are hugging everyone else on this call and everyone everywhere, in fact, because we could all use a hug. And as Avi begins this song, just let that extend to everybody you love, everybody you know, and perhaps even to everybody who challenges you. Avi?
This is a song by a local songwriter, so local, his name is Langhorne Slim. Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. I've spent a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes now, and I've just begun. Under a purple sun, there's many reasons we are what we become. Changes, ripping out pages. I'm going. I knew it once, but I got. I'm going through changes now. We want everything but what we've got. I'm going through changes now. Maybe it's too soon. Under a purple moon, I'd ride off with you in a big balloon. I'm going through changes, rattling cages. I'm going through changes now. Maybe it's too soon. Under a purple moon, things could be different, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes, through all of this strangeness. I'm going through changes, ripping out pages. I'm going through changes, rattling cages. I'm going through changes now.
Thank you, Avi. So now we're going to have a little bit of a ritual that I believe Breen is going to read for us.
Thank you, Dave. This is the Flames of Faith. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As Dina lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of everyone and every place you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
And so today, honoring Passover in the Jewish faith, we'll have a special treat, a dual reading, which Avi and Sandy are going to bring to us.
I'd actually like to say a little something before we get into the reading, kind of explain where this came from. Because this week is Holy Week. It happens to include Passover beginning on Wednesday, as well as Easter Sunday and Good Friday and the days in between, which is the same sequence that happened in the New Testament. So it's a Holy Week for lots of different religions. And because we had Avi scheduled for the celebration today, And it turns out that our families have something in common. I had an opportunity a couple months back to go to a Shabbat service with Avi and his grandfather, who's a Holocaust survivor, who's telling his stories, and it's really a compelling story, and touched my heart. And it turns out that my great-grandmother and his grandfather were at Auschwitz at the same time, having different outcomes. So because there's that combination and that blending of all of the stuff that's going on, and as I'll get into in the talk in a little bit, the challenge of tragic times and the optimism of things that are coming next. The reading today is from the Passover Seder. It's from the Haggadah, and I'll let Ali describe the rest of it.
So this is a kind of a poem with the translation from Hebrew of Saul Chernichovsky by Maurice Samuel. And I'll recite a little bit of the Hebrew, and then you'll hear the English translation. Sachaki, Sachaki al hachalomot, zu ani hacholem sach. Sachaki, ki va'adam a'amin, ki odeni ma'amin bach. Ki od nafshi dror sho'efet, lo, mechartiha le'egel paz. Ki od a'amin gam ba'adam, gam berucho ruach az. A'amina, gam be'atid, ach im yirchak ze hayom. Ach bo yavo, yis'u shalom, az uvracha le'om mil'om.
Laugh, laugh at all my dreams. Laugh and I repeat anew that I still believe in humanity as I still believe in you. By the passion of our spirit shall our ancient bonds be shed. Let the soul be given freedom. Let the body have its bread. For my soul is not yet sold to the golden calf of scorn. For I still believe in humanity and the spirit within us born. Life and love and strength and action in our heart and blood shall beat, and our hope shall be both heaven and the earth beneath our feet.
Well, I started out down a dirty road. I started out all alone, and the sun went down as I crossed that hill, and the town lit up and the world got still. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. The good old days may not return, and the rocks might melt in the sea break your heart, steal your crown. Started out for God knows where. I guess I'll know when I get there. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. I'm learning to fly, but I ain't got wings. Coming down is the hardest thing. I'm learning to fly around the clouds. What goes up must come down.
Beautiful. Thank you, Avi. And thank you all for being here. As I mentioned, it's Easter, and it's also the middle of Passover. And you probably have heard that it's also the middle of a pandemic. So there's some stuff going on in the world. Some other things that are noteworthy this week is that Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of religious science, the author of Science of Mind, and one of those way-showers in this teaching for us, this week is the 60th anniversary of his passing, of his transition. It's also 1 year since Barbara Marx Hubbard, who is a co-founder of the Association for Global New Thought, which we're part of, made her transition. And we can look at the events and the activities in the world around us and attribute great meaning to them. And at the same time, as Ernest Holmes told us, we get to look a fact in the face and know something better, know something different. And I've been having a lot of conversations with people this week about what's next. Where are we going from here? Because we're all hunkered down in our houses, you know, waiting out the pandemic and looking for the time that it's going to be okay to go back to our normal existence. And the question is, what's that normal existence going to look like when we get to it? Because it's not going to be the same way that it was. There are things that are going to be different. There have to be things that are going to be different because we now live in a 24/7 connected small world with the ability to be from one place to another instantaneously or nearly so. And there's a new possibility that's been presented to us, so we get to react and adjust accordingly. We have the opportunity to try and get back to normal in whatever way that we're called to do that. Or because we're metaphysicians, because we get to look a fact, an epidemic, a pandemic, a crisis, a shutdown in the face and know something better, we actually have the opportunity to be intentional about the world that we're going back to. It can be different. It's going to be different, and as long as it's going to be different, we can choose that it's going to be better. Now, a lot of the challenges that we've had is that we don't know what to do. We don't know what to invest or commit ourselves to at this point because there's so little clarity about what the possibilities are. And I was talking about this with my prayer partner yesterday, and we're all feeling the same sort of thing. You know, we want to get involved and take action and do something. You know, be active in the world. And this is very clearly one of those situations where the instructions are, don't just do something, sit there. And the idea is that if we try and fix the problem in the world the way the problem has been presented in the world, then we're just going to continue adding on to the problem. What we have the opportunity to do is to invite that next new experience. And we get to look at the bigger picture. We don't just have to look at the current pandemic and the economic issues that are going on. We can look at the sort of world that we want to live in. We are at a choice point where we can choose to be a world that's loving, where there's more love, where there's the assumption of love. We can choose the sort of world where the important things are the health and the comfort and the vitality and the prosperity of everyone, rather than the cutthroat competition that it's got to be for us, it's got to be for me, it's got to be for my clan or my tribe. Now, these are all very lofty, high-minded goals, and sometimes it's very easy to get distracted from them because what we really want to do is make sure that we're going to be okay. A dear friend of mine came down with some symptoms and got tested and came back positive for COVID-19. And so the prayers are with her and with him that as they go through this process, it's the fastest possible return to health and vitality and comfort that they can have. And so those are the things that we can do right now. And it's not just for us. It's the intention for everybody who's dealing with this to have the minimum possible effect or a negative impact on their lives. You know, for whatever challenges or difficulties are going to be, we want them to be as little as possible. We can do that now. We can do that prayerfully. We can remember what Ernest Holmes told us is that we can look a fact in the face and know something better. We can look at a curve and note that those are projections. It's going to go up or down from there. That's just the midline of the curve. And we can choose. And we can be intentional about what's next. As we're going through, it's Passover, and Passover is all about telling the story of the Hebrews, the escape from Egypt. And I talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago. There was the angel of death came a visiting, and God told Moses to have all of his people paint the lamb's blood on their door, so the angel of death would know to pass over them. And Moses didn't just tell the Jews to do that. He told everybody to do that. But only the Jews listened. That's really important. It was the people who were listening who escaped, who got the different experience. The people who didn't listen, the story is that it was the firstborn, which is the elderly in the family, were taken. And were they punished? No. This was a thing that was happening. They got to engage with the thing, and by engaging the way that they did, they got the experience that they got. We get to replicate that in our world. There are some places that are having big Easter services today, and I bless them and wish, I set the intention that the outcome is going to be as good as it possibly can be. And still we live in the world. So making those choices are like not painting the blood on the door or choosing to do something different. I was having a conversation with Avi earlier this week. There's a prayer scroll that's on the door jamb, the door to every Jewish household. It's called a mezuzah. And the prayer scroll is inside of a little container. And that is the token or the symbol of that mark of Passover. So the question that we have is, what's in the mezuzah? What's the prayer that's in our present-day mezuzah? Because the visit by the angel of death was the penultimate tragedy that happened to the Egyptians with the with the Jews on the way out. The last one was the parting of the Red Sea and the drowning of the army that was chasing them. So there's going to be something next. How are we going to deal with it? How are we going to engage with that? But that's not the question. The question isn't how are we going to deal with those things. We might not even know what those things are yet. There are certainly issues that are going on in the world. Somebody commented that, maybe we're getting a wake-up call because we were in the midst of dealing with global climate change when the pandemic started. And the mindset and the personnel who are dealing with this tragedy are going to have to deal with that tragedy. Only there won't be a vaccine. So we're going to have to be clever. As a people, we're going to have to be clever. We're going to have to work together because these things are all affecting us on a global scale right now. And every time I start talking about the challenges that we're facing, those challenges and the opportunities are the same thing. we get to be ready for what's next. I don't know what I'm going to do. My prayer is to let go of my attachment to what's going on in the world, not ignore it, let go of my attachment to it, let go of trying to figure out what it is that's mine to do, and be quiet. To let go of all of that and allow Spirit to speak to me. Allow that still small voice of the infinite mind within to tell me what's my next perfect step to take and when to take it. And then my job, first of all, is to listen. Because if I'm sitting in meditation and I'm like busy going through whatever I heard on the news or what I want to say next or what's on the shopping list or how to get it out of the Whole Foods in the safest way possible, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to hear it. It's for me to be attentive, to listen for what that is. And then when I hear that suggestion, to consider it. What is it here that's mine? What is it here that's mine to do? What step is mine to take next? And then the activity that winds up happening from that it tends to be things that in hindsight are completely understandable. And we can explain it. We can look back through, the footsteps in history and understand how something came to be, even as we remark on how unlikely it seemed at the time that that was going to happen. There's finesse. There's a lot of subtlety in all of this, of making the comparison of the diamond cutter. Diamond is one of the hardest substances on Earth, and it's possible to take a diamond and a big enough hammer and smash it. But what a diamond cutter does is examines the diamond, understands it, and then the little hammer and the little chisel, the tiniest tap, and the diamond opens up and separates itself into the shape that the diamond cutter had in mind. It's not about brute force. It's about insight and wisdom and preparation and clarity and having the proper tools and understanding how to use them. So let's let that be our prayer. Let's let that be the intention that we set, that we are each individually and all of us together divinely guided to know what's ours to do and when it's ours to do it. Because the situation that we're in now is going to end. Things are going to change. Things are already getting better. Do we want to limit how much better they can be? Do we want to be the ones who are saying, oh, it can't possibly be any better than this? The sky's the limit. And for each of us, it's the limit of our belief system. How good do we think it can get? And if we go to fluffy unicorns, and it's something that we like saying, but we don't believe it, then it's just a comfortable pastime. But what we really need to do is find out what's the best that we believe it could possibly be. Paint that picture of the world that we want to live in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 and beyond. What does comfortable feel like? What does safe feel like? What does joyous feel like? What does community look like? And what's mine to do? As I say this, it sounds like it's really big stuff. Oh my God, I have to make this decision. Well, you don't have to make this decision, you just can make this decision. We are free to paint the lamb's blood on the door jamb, or not. We are free to put on a mask when we go outside, or not. We are free to do whatever it is that we choose to do because we are powerful, self-actualized human beings. So if we get to choose, let's choose well. Let's choose love. Let's choose joy. Let's choose health and vitality. Let's choose prosperity. Let's choose freedom. Let's choose all of those things that we talk about and know that they are actually a choice right now, in this moment, and every moment. And so that's my blessing for all of us this Passover and Easter week, this holy day. As we allow whatever it was that used to be gone, and out of those ashes to have our next new experience be resurrected. Learn the stories, learn the metaphors from the stories, learn the ideas and the intentions from the stories. The old ways are gone, and there's something new that's possible, that's birthing itself right now. Let's make it wonderful, because each of us deserves it, and all of us deserve it. And we, because we are in this teaching and understand the powerful nature of our creative intent, are powerful creators of this next new experience. Nobody knows. Nobody has a decision. Nobody has this figured out. So we get to be intentional about it. Let us make it great. Amen. So it is.
In thinking about what's next, this song is a song that you can sing before you know what's coming next. Maybe in some of that anxiety about anticipating what comes next, or that excitement about what comes next. Here's a song about what you can do while you are just kind of sitting in it, which is something that we're all doing. It's a song that I wrote called Passover, and I wrote it while actually being in the middle of a storm, and that all storms eventually will pass. So feel free to sing along wherever you are this morning. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. Sun, sun, a storm's about to appear, and not a thing will be dry, but the skies, they always clear. It's just a matter of time. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. Sun, sun. We're stuck with nowhere to go. It's quite a disheartening low. Let's get together and sing. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, sun, sun. I see you're feeling blue. Life's not how you want it to be. So until the sun shines through, you can sing along with me. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, sun, sun. And again. And this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, sun, sun. And this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun, 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 sun.
Thank you, Avi. I always enjoy that song. So we're going to take a few minutes now and settle into some meditation. So I was thinking about what Reverend Bill was saying about when you go into meditation, if you're thinking about the news or what are you going to do, and you can get distracted. So one of the ways to help quiet the mind is through mantra, which is the idea of repeating a word or a phrase to yourself as you sit in meditation. So we're going to play with that a little bit today, working on quieting the mind, focusing on some words, and digging into the inner experience. So I invite everyone just to get comfortable wherever you are. I suggest, and it is suggested, that you sit in a position where you're comfortable with your back is straight and your head's up. However you want to put your hands or your feet is certainly your preference, but just settle in and be aware of your breath. We take a deep breath in and exhale. Just allow your body to relax. We're going to take a series of deep breaths. We're going to breathe in. We're going to hold that breath at the top and then release. We'll do that 3 times. So breathing in. Hold and release. Once more, breathing in. Hold and release. And again, breathing in. Hold and release. Just feel yourself relax. Allow your breath to return to a gentle, even pace, whatever's comfortable for you. And take a moment to be aware of that space between breaths. When you exhale, before you inhale, just take a pause there. And feel that openness. Be open to what's next. You breathe out, become aware, and breathe in. We're going to use that rhythm of our breath for the mantra. We're breathing in. Repeat the word love. Breathing out. In your mind, repeat the word life. And in that moment between breaths, use the word freedom. Life, love, freedom. Life, love, freedom. And as we go into the silence together, focus on those words. Breathing in life, breathing out love, and freedom in between.
I choose life. I choose love. I choose freedom. I choose highest and best, unfolding with love and ease. For each of us and everyone. I know that I am free at any moment to turn my attention away from the world around me, that divine presence, that infinite intelligence, that limitless love, that unimaginable energy, that creative force that has created everything. And so is each of us, free to turn our attention to the one. That one power and presence that unfolds and reveals and expresses itself through and as and in us. Through every aspect and facet of our being, everything is this divine light, God's love, being refracted as if by the surface of a diamond, spraying that bright light of love in a fresh, different direction for each of us. There is love. There is harmony. There is life, there is freedom, there is good that's available right here, right now, and always, and that's what I choose. It is flowing through each of us. And we are each using that infinite intelligence, that divine guidance that's available in every moment to create our next new experience. As we each individually imagine the best possible situation that we could be in a month, a year, and a decade from now. Let us invite that experience. I choose life. I choose love. I choose freedom. I choose harmony. I choose prosperity. I invite that divine creative energy to express itself in ways that are completely new. We are in no way limited to repeat life as it's happened before. This is the opportunity to step into that which is new. And so we step boldly. And in every moment, allow that divine mind, that infinite intelligence, to guide us, to inform us, to instruct us. And then we follow those instructions, that guidance. We activate that wisdom and allow it to amplify through our work in the world. This next new batch of awesome is on the way now. As we continue to deepen into our awareness of just how good it can be, as we continue to invite this wonderful, joyous, healthy, happy, harmonious, prosperous new experience. We are all uplifted, each one of us individually, all of us together. This good is at hand right now, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for this new experience, even now on the way. And with gratitude for this good, I speak this word of intention into the same creative law that has been saying yes since the very beginning of time. In the beginning, there was darkness and void and God, meaning there was nothing but God. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. The law responded, and there was light. The law said yes, and there was light. And the law is still saying yes. And so I let it say yes to these positive new ideas. And I know they are even now unfolding. So it is. Amen. So go ahead and take a deep breath. Look at your fingers and toes. Do whatever it is that you do to bring your awareness back into the room around you. Since you're comfortable, you can open your eyes as Avi does another song for us.
This is by a songwriter named Nick Sibilia. Talks about how in times like this, we really do need each other. Life is too far to walk alone. You can't do it on your own. It's like bare hands digging through stone. If things go down much steeper hills, even money won't pay these bills. Time will show you now. The people gonna be okay. The storms never come to stay. They just show us how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other. And the trials of today, they are signs along the way. They just show us how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other, yeah. I get so high on myself sometimes. I keep on drifting a million miles from this planet. But what a shame it would be to look back on our lives and realize I've taken you and you and you and you for granted. People gonna be okay. The storms never come to stay. They just show us how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other. And the crimes of today, they are signs along the way to remind us how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other. People gonna be okay. The storms never come to stay. They just show us how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other. And whether we laugh or whether we grieve, I know both sides are gonna see how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other, yeah.
Beautiful. Mark Sibilia song, because somebody had asked about that in the chat. This is the opportunity that
How
we have.
bad we need each other.
Yep, how bad we need each other. Mark Sibilia. That was it. So we now have an opportunity to see what seeds have been planted. So is there any guidance, anything that anybody wants to share? Go ahead, just unmute your mic and give voice to whatever has come up for you during this time we've spent together. I'll share something that's been floating around in my mind for a while, because usually when we get to Easter time, there's a story of transformation, because the Easter story was about how this idea of love let loose in the world, of healing, which was what Jesus' ministry was about. It died on Good Friday. And Easter is it's resurrection. So that is the opportunity in the middle of whatever's going on for us to know that a resurrection is underway. There is something new. There's the phoenix coming out of the ashes. And just every way I look at this, it keeps on coming up for me. And I've been wrapped around it for the entire week. So thank you all for being my sounding board. Anybody else? Uh-oh. Maybe I stunned you.
Hi, it's Carla.
Hi, Carla.
Hi, everybody. Happy Easter. I love the idea of thinking about the most good that we could be doing and the best place that we could be in a month, in a year, in 5 years. And I will pray on that. I will think on that. And I might even meditate on that. So thank you. It was beautiful. Everything, this whole service has been beautiful. And I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Carla Ann. Leanne, I see that your mic is open.
Oh, I just wanted to say happy Easter, happy Passover to everyone. And I'm just really grateful to be a part of this community. It means a lot to me. It's my family away from family. I also wanted to share real quick that I have a personal story of an intention I set for my son-in-law who came down with the COVID-19 and battled for several weeks. And now he's on his road back to recovery, full recovery. And so there's, the miracles never cease to amaze. And I'm just really grateful for the intentions I set and that my family is unified around his recovery. And, it's the best, Passover, Easter gift of all is just having him back fully recovered from a scare. That was really a wake call for him. And for everyone, like you had indicated earlier, we can look at it, with the glass half empty or half full. And it's just really important to pivot your perspective and look to the future with, bright optimism. And that's exactly what we did. And we all came together as one. So thank you for that. That was beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you. We love hearing those demonstration stories, the prayer works, because without the virus, the recovery is not possible. Not that we want to necessarily have that recovery, but that's what makes it possible.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Something to share? Well, in that case, I'm going to hand it over to Sarah, our host, who, by the way, congratulations and thank you to Sarah and Luke, who are just doing a stellar job running all the technology and the hospitality for this whole online presence. You make it magical. You make it look easy, and it's not.
Thank you. We're doing our best. Okay, so you can unmute your mic if you want, and then we'll be a chorus of reading this together, or you can leave yourself muted and just say it with yourself. I live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite source of all good. I am the center of conscious prosperity.
I enjoy
the richness of life.
I bless my gift.
I share my gift,
Gratitude and joy.
I know that
as I give, I do
receive.
So it is.
And so it is.
And like we went over earlier in the announcements, you can donate right on our website. There's a big yellow donate button there as well. So
it turns out that even before we started doing these by Zoom, that it was unsanitary to pass an offering basket. So take care of yourself and visit the PayPal. Avi?
Thank you all. It's been a beautiful morning spending it with you in music and word. So one last one that you can certainly sing along with. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Just stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should crumble and fall, and all the mountains should tumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Yes, stand by me. Stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Just stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should crumble and fall, and all the mountains should tumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Yeah. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Just stand now. Stand by me, stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Yes, stand by me, stand by me. So darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, 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 stand by me.
Thank you, Avi, and thank you to Zoom for making that be a psychedelic version of that song, which I hadn't never anticipated before. So normally what we do is we stand up and we reach for each other's hands, but instead I invite you to reach for your mute button so that we can all close together. So go ahead and turn your microphones on. We are grateful for all of the gifts received and exchanged. Yeah, you can give yourself a hug, hold your hands up so that you can connect with the infinite and know that there is love unfolding right here, right now. Please repeat after me. I am the love.
I am love.
I am the light.
I am the light.
I let my light shine.
I let my light shine.
I let the love flow.
I let the love flow.
And what's next is awesome.
And what's
Awesome.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Coming, turn your phones back on, and please feel free, stick around, grab yourself a cup of coffee. Of course, it'll be at your house. You're welcome to chat or get in touch with Breen about a healing prayer session.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody. Happy holidays. Good.
Happy Easter, happy Passover, everyone.
Take
Much
care.
love.
Thanks, Reverend Bill. Thanks, Reverend Dave.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Avi.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Avi.
Thank you all.
Jennifer.
We have another
Look,
cat.
everybody, it's my mom.
Kitty.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but if you're in a call in this day and age and you don't share your cat if they're around, because I know how cats are, like you're obligated if your cat's around to share it with everybody.
The fridge is open.
This is the cat that was so sick over Christmas.
Aww.
Sweetest, most loving cat. You know, she just is friendly and happy all the time when she isn't terribly sick. And that was the only time she had ever been sick.
Oh my.
What's the cat's name?
Jeannie, Genie, because my husband rescued her when she was